Hi, and welcome back to the show. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button on Sister Wives Underground and thumbs up on this video if you haven't already. It really makes it worth continuing and getting the inside scoop on what really happens behind closed doors. Let's tackle something that has been sitting heavily on the fans of the show, the part Gabriel Brown might be playing in stopping the Brown family from really healing. Season 19 of Sister Wives just wrapped in 2 segments. The first part, which was shown at the end of 2024, revolved around increasing fissures within the Brown family. With years of fighting over a crumbling plural marriage, Kody Brown was left with his 4th wife, Robin, as Mary, Janelle and Christine walked away. The latter part of the season went dark. Tragedy hit in March 2024, when Janelle and Kody's son, Gabriel Brown, took his life. This devastating loss hung over everything, but when the 4-part tell-all premiered after the finale, the family said nothing about it. Host Sukanya Krishnan interviewed Kody, Robin, Mary, Janelle and Christine one-on-one. She asked difficult, intimate questions and attempted to deconstruct what went wrong in terms of causing the family to fall apart. But all the while, despite such a powerful moment being Garrison's death, it was never touched upon in the interviews. In addition to the pain of losing Garrison, the Brown family has been struggling to cope with the total collapse of their plural life. And in my view, Robin is only making that recovery more difficult. During the tell-all, Robin was asked if she believed Kody showed her favoritism. Despite everything we've seen and heard over the years, she insisted she didn't think he favored her. That answer frustrated many, including myself, because it directly contradicts what Mary, Janelle and Christine have said, that favoritism played a huge part in their decisions to leave. Her denial of the blindingly obvious doesn't just ring false, it hinders progress. Robin's reaction to being labelled Kody's sacred cow, a label that Janelle employed, was similarly revealing. She bristled awkwardly, responding, "Moo, I don't know whatever, I don't care." Such dismissive behaviour merely adds to her disconnection from the other members of the family. I think the family would be able to start healing if Robin would just admit that there was injustice in how Kody treated his wives. A recognition that her marriage with Kody upset the equilibrium in the family might lead to actual healing. But Robin persists in believing that the bridges with Kody's old wives can somehow be rebuilt. Based on everything we've witnessed, it's obvious that those bridges were already burnt. She's trying to restore what no longer exists. This type of unrealistic optimism is not assisting. In fact, it keeps the family trapped. Until Robin and Kody admit that their conduct contributed to the demise of their plural family, the rest of the Browns can't really move forward. Robin appears to be attempting to save her public reputation by saying that the family is still fixable and that nothing permanent has been done. But to me, that isn't hope, that sounds like denial. Her ongoing assertions that healing is still possible sound more like a personal cop-out than a realistic assessment of what's really occurring. Kody seems to hear Robin out, and so long as she continues to insist that all is fixable, he'll continue to try to reassert control over his ex-wives. It's a pattern that keeps real closure from happening. If Robin were to change her approach, perhaps some of the relationships with the children might be rebuilt. But as it is, she's only further widening the chasm. Let's not forget that the Brown family was an established polygamous unit before Robin became a part of it. Kody, Mary, Janelle and Christine had already established a life together. It wasn't ideal, but it was okay. After Robin came into the picture, everything changed, and not for the better. Throughout the tell-all interviews, Robin sidestepped tough questions or answered them in vague terms. That evasiveness only exacerbated the feeling that she won't own up to responsibility for how her being here and Kody's favoritism of her broke up the family. By shirking responsibility, she's doing real damage to any hope of reconciliation between Kody and his first wives and children. Another huge area of contention is money and how Robin and Kody use it. Their financial decisions have been a sore spot with the rest of the family. When the Coyote Pass property was bought as part of their collective vision, Robin and Kody got the biggest portion. Additionally, they upgraded their house with high-end features, such as a heated driveway, while other members of the family had much less. Now, Kody and Robin reside in a $2.1 million estate in Flagstaff, Arizona, a 7,884 square foot mansion that is in stark contrast to the financial reality of the OG3's offspring. It is no wonder this disparity has resulted in resentment and frustration. There have even been allegations made as to whether or not Kody and Robin abused family money to upgrade their status and spend more time with each other at the expense of everyone else. For me, it's obvious that Robin is now the focal point of the family's ongoing drama. Her refusal to take responsibility, combined with frivolous spending and a lack of sympathy for others, has distanced her from most of Kody's older children. Specifically, however, some of the children, such as Michael T. and Gabriel Brown, have been quite forthcoming about how Kody and Robin's financial lifestyles are in wide contrast to the manner in which the family lived while the family remained intact. Several of the Brown children were born and raised on camera, and fans have seen them grow up over the years. One such child is Gabriel Brown, son of Kody and Janelle. We watched him grow up from a sweet boy into a thoughtful, gentle young man, but his latest transformation has left everyone speechless. Gabriel recently stunned supporters with his remarkable weight loss transformation. The transformation was so extreme that when he shared images of his journey on social media, it went viral within minutes. On Monday, June 9th, the 23-year-old posted a set of before and after photos on his Instagram stories, and supporters were quick to hail him for his discipline and commitment. Gabriel had clearly put a lot of effort into his transformation. Not only had he lost weight, but he also gained muscle and recreated his physical shape. He spoke about the motivation behind his makeover, revealing that negative comments about how he looked had forced him to take charge of his health and image. Perhaps the most visible aspect of Gabe's fresh new image, other than his physique makeover, was his haircut. Long familiar with his shoulder-length locks, Gabriel recently chopped it all off. His mum, Janelle Brown, posted a heartwarming video on Instagram showing the moment. Gabe didn't merely cut his hair, he donated it. The fans adored the move and complimented it as a kind and charitable thing, obviously something he learned from his mum. Gabriel also met up with some of his siblings for a sushi lunch shortly after his transformation, where fans got another glimpse of his new fresh look. His new short haircut, toned body, and confident attitude received accolades from all sides of the Sister Wives fanbase. In one of Gabriel's transformation photos, the initial picture was an older mirror selfie with him being shirtless, having apparent belly fat and looking somewhat displeased. The second picture, more recently taken, had him at the gym wearing a white tank top, flexing apparently stronger arms and a more toned physique. His triceps and biceps were clearly defined, showing the hard work he had put in for sure. Gabriel unveiled that he lost close to 75 pounds overall. He didn't simply lose weight, he got stronger, increased his confidence, and regained control of how he perceived himself. He thanked everyone who helped him along the way, and fans all over the globe still rally around him for this amazing accomplishment. Certain remarks regarding Gabriel's looks had clearly encouraged him to do something and work on his health. His makeover shocked followers, with fans pouring into the comments section with congratulations and admiration. Many of them even posted his pictures on their own walls, writing about how inspired they were with his commitment and success. To add to the hype, Gabriel recently announced that he would be returning to the show again, much to the pleasure of long-time viewers. And it's not only Gabriel who has made news. Christine and Mary have also won over fans with their own weight loss regimens. Even Janelle, Gabriel's mum, is still working on getting in shape. These personal transformations are taking place against the background of an emotional and challenging period for the family. The recent tragedies involving the now troubled polygamous family have made it even clearer that reconciliation and healing aren't arriving without a fight, and to many, one person appears to be in the way. Ever since the dramatic conclusion of the last season, emotional distance among family members has only increased. Season 19 was divided into two emotionally charged halves. The first half focused on the collapse of relationships and the disintegration of trust among family members. The second half was darker, tracing the process of grieving the shocking and tragic loss of one of their own. Even amidst their shared sorrow, a common problem appeared to hinder the family from advancing. Centre to this conflict is Kody's fourth and current wife. Her existence and behaviour have become a point of contention, with both members of the family and viewers alike questioning the part she still plays in the divide. The various members of the family sat down individually for emotional interviews as part of the season's reunion special. They spoke candidly about how their common way of life had disintegrated and how the changes impacted them individually. The special didn't address the family's recent loss head-on, but it did highlight some of the long-standing problems, most notably the issue of favoritism and splitting. Perhaps the most dramatic moment was when Kody's fourth wife was questioned as to whether she felt that he had played favorites throughout their plural marriage. Her breezy brushing off of the topic left everyone watching shell-shocked. Against the backdrop of years of complaints and heartbreak for Kody's former wives, her reluctance to admit to any special treatment rang totally out of touch. This sentiment only deepened the emotional chasm between her and the rest of the family. By denying the reality of what so many others went through and what fans kept seeing again and again, she moved further away from the people she once shared a spiritual connection with. And the gap that continues to widen between her and the rest of her family is because she refuses to look into herself honestly and see how the rest of the world sees her. Her defensive attitude, at times bordering on contempt, generates an emotional climate that makes genuine healing even more difficult. What might have otherwise been a moment of empathy and accountability turned into one of detachment and dismissal. Her continual insistence that the damaged relationships between her husband and his previous wives can somehow be repaired only makes things worse. She continues to press for a reunion, for a family that no longer exists, even though the other women have consistently made it abundantly clear they've moved on. It's as if she is attempting to maintain the facade of a harmonious home, even where the facade no longer exists. No one gains from such denial, least of all the women who were forced to make the bitter decision to put their emotional health before the appearance of harmony. That she cannot see the irreversibility of those decisions demonstrates a lack of compassion and appreciation for what they went through. The dynamic between her and Kody has also extended beyond emotions. It's also touched financial equity and family bonds. Decades ago, the family pooled their resources to buy Coyote Pass, a piece of property to symbolize their dream of becoming one. But as the years passed and the family disintegrated, how that property was divided only revealed greater disparities. While other wives and their families have complained of restricted financial aid and resource availability, Kody and his current wife now share a luxurious home with all the pricey amenities, more than ever before available to the rest of the family. That former vision of community and respect for each other now resembles a two-person hierarchy, leaving the rest of us in its wake. Even the grown-up children have aired their views, contrasting the humble, frequently tense background of their upbringing with the luxury their father and his new partner have adopted. Some have come out publicly to challenge the couple's spending habits and priorities, noting the sharp contrast with what they had been taught. But this problem runs deeper than money. It is an expression of the breakdown of trust and equality, the foundation upon which the family previously stood. The spiritual principles of justice, concord, and peace that characterized their polygamous existence have been undermined by favoritism and disparity. What makes it worse is the couple's unwillingness to acknowledge their role in creating this divide. Without true accountability, resentment only continues to grow, and as long as that continues, real healing isn't just delayed, it may never be possible. Without accountability and transparency, genuine reconciliation is not possible. Healing will only start once there's an acknowledgement, not avoidance, of others' lived experiences and points of view. As long as there's still one person who doesn't want to face past errors squarely and humbly, the emotional wounds in this family will never be closed. The process towards healing isn't denial or downplaying, it's through courage, reflection, and empathy. Without that essential step, the family is still broken, and any chance at restoring harmony is nothing more than a dream. What a year started out to be a tale of a time when a few marriages were crumbling has grown into something so much more. It has become a textbook case of how emotional disconnection, favoritism, and selective responsibility can short-circuit group healing. Any idea of coming together as family will be no more than a pipe dream until members involved are capable of taking a long, hard examination of themselves and their parts. While the family has visibly struggled, one of the sons has quietly demonstrated what real personal growth can be like. Gabriel, son of a tough, independent mother and a very controversial father, was initially perceived as a sensitive, reserved boy, trying to make sense of the complicated world of polygamy. But over the years, Gabriel has changed, not only physically, but also emotionally and mentally, into a young man who has taken full charge of his life and well-being. For many who have watched the family's messy trajectory unfold over several years, Gabriel's development is something to behold. A reclamation of personal agency amidst a fractured family heritage. That long-haired, conflicted kid is no longer there. Instead, there is a young man defined by physicality, interior confidence, and a reassertion of identity. Gabriel recently showed the depth of his makeover in a series of intense photographs posted on social media. The first photograph was unvarnished, a topless selfie taken in a bathroom mirror. It depicted not only his physical state at the time, but an emotional weight that appeared etched across his face. There was a still frustration in his eyes, a feeling that he wasn't at ease in his own skin. But the second picture had a very different story to tell. Standing in a gym, Gabriel was tall and confident, in a white tank top with no frills. His physique was obviously changed, his arms strong and sculpted, his stance assertive. But more than that, there was an unspoken pride on his face, evidence of the effort he'd made and the mastery he'd regained over his life. Gabriel's change was not only about weight loss or bodybuilding, it was an emblem of growth, healing, and a wish to move ahead despite others being rooted in the past. The definition in Gabriel's arms, the contours of his shoulders, and the assuredness in his stance all indicated months, perhaps years, of dedication and application. He no longer concealed behind large garments or hesitant body language. This was not someone just getting by, this was someone who had flourished. His supporting message was humble but profoundly affecting. He pondered over the feedback received by him over the years, both the encouraging words of praise and the stinging criticisms, and described how both had instilled fire in his determination. Gabriel said he had lost a great deal of weight, but he was quick to explain that his journey wasn't about reaching a specific number on the scale. His objective was to be the version of himself that he had dreamed of, someone who was strong, confident, and at ease in his own skin. But the change wasn't just physical. When Gabriel decided to chop off his long locks, it was a symbolic change in his persona. For years, his shoulder-length hair had been an iconic element of his image, something that fans identified with his quieter, more reserved days. But in a gesture-laden move, Gabriel decided to give away his hair. It was an act of reinvention and compassion, marking not only a change outside, but also one inside. His mother, Janelle, who has been known for years for her strength and compassion, happily posted a touching video of the haircut on social media. The video captured the sentiment of the moment, and followers commended not only the act itself, but the quiet bravery behind it. The moment was reflective of the values Gabriel had clearly learned from his mother: empathy, thoughtfulness, and profound commitment to individual growth. Aside from his physical makeover, Gabriel is still very much in touch with his siblings. He's frequently spotted hanging out with them, whether in informal social media updates or when the family goes out for sushi lunch. His new appearance has been largely commended by his fans, who not only find it attractive but also very inspiring. Gabriel has also become a poster child for the power of discipline, self-respect, and inner motivation. His makeover has gone viral on social media, with millions of users reposting his experience and basking in both the physical transformation and the sternness of character behind it. Fans who have seen him age on television were amazed at the commitment he'd made and at the maturity he now embodies. His choice to make his journey public is particularly significant in light of the circumstances. It's both a blessing and a curse to grow up in front of a camera on a reality show. It exposes you to visibility, but it lays bare your personal struggles to be constantly judged and critiqued. Growing up in front of reality television cameras means living under the glare of public scrutiny, and sometimes unwelcome judgment. For Gabriel, taking matters into his own hands in this way feels like the best possible answer to years of speculation and criticism. And now, with word that he'll be featured in a future episode of the program, fans can't wait to see more of the man he has grown up to be. There's hope among fans that his comeback will bring a change to the direction of the show's storyline, one that is focused on growth, responsibility, and empowerment. Gabriel's transformation is not merely about fitness, it's about becoming an adult with direction and confidence. Incidentally, the rest of the family has also started embracing the healthy lifestyle. Gabriel's mother, Janelle, has been outspoken about her own journey towards wellness, talking about her struggles with food and exercise. What stands out is how they seem to support each other, each on their personal path to healing. Fans have noticed and praised these moments of genuine connection, a rare but hopeful sign of progress in a family that has endured far more internal conflict than most. Other members of this family circle, including women who had previously been regarded as secondary players in a collapsing family system, are now coming into their own as confident, independent individuals. They're reframing their scripts from passive bystanders to dysfunction to proactive builders of their own lives. But of all these individual revolutions, Gabriel's is different, not because it's loud, but because of its quiet power. No grand proclamations or over-the-top declarations, simple photos and genuine words, and a huge impact. He wasn't seeking attention or a round of applause, he was merely declaring, "This is who I'm becoming." In a world where change is so commonly presented as spectacle, Gabriel's authenticity rang out in a deep and resonating manner. This isn't about seeking validation or image, it's about going back to the essence of who you are. For Gabriel, that involved letting go of everything that no longer worked for him, physically and emotionally, and entering a position of newly found strength. His journey is ongoing, but one thing is certain: he is no longer the kid struggling to navigate a huge dysfunctional family. He's now a confident young man teaching us all what happens when you take charge of your own destiny. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for daily news and more videos like this one.